He is one of the best all-time running backs to ever play professional football. As a matter of fact, Jerome Bettis is 6th in overall rushing, probably why he's nicknamed the Bus. After a countless number of accolades and awards, Jerome retired from professional football in 2006. And although his battles on the field may be over, Jerome still maintains a battle off the field. Jerome tackles anaphylaxis, a severe allergic reaction that happens quickly and can lead to death. And Jerome joins us this afternoon to tell us more about it. Jerome, thanks for joining us this afternoon. It's great to talk to you.
Thanks for having me.
Let me ask you a question. How did you associate what you were going through with anaphylaxis?
Well, when I was 14, I was eating shrimp fried rice, and all of a sudden, things started to go really bad. I was struggling to breathe. I was wheezing, I was coughing, and my uncle took me right to the doctor, and that's when I was diagnosed with having a shellfish allergy. And from that point, my life changed. I had to be very, very diligent in everything that I did from that point on.
This sounds like something pretty scary to have to live with.
You know what? It is something scary, and that's why I'm talking about it. The month of May is National Asthma and Allergy Awareness Month, and so I teamed up with Sanofi to really present the Severe Allergic and Anaphylaxis Playbook. And basically, it's a lot of tips and educational information for the 6 million people like myself that suffer from a allergic situation. And so it's basically understanding what you're dealing with and developing you kind of like a playbook or your plays. And I kind of developed 5 plays that I incorporate daily. And the first one is understanding my allergen, avoiding it at all costs. So I'm conscious of everywhere I'm going, making sure I'm not going into the seafood restaurants that's cooking all of the shellfish. The second thing I'm doing is I'm making sure that I have a device, and my device is called IVQ. This is the actual device, but this is a trainer, and basically it's an epinephrine auto injector that you use. And the neat thing about this is it has audio and visual cues. So for instance, if I pulled it out, it talks to you.
Contains no needles.
So if you're going through an anaphylaxis event and you need to actually inject yourself, it talks you through the process. So I make sure I have this incredible device with me. The next thing is, I'm sharing that information. I'm telling the waiter, if I'm at a restaurant, hey, I'm allergic to shellfish. Could you make sure they cook the food separately? I'm making sure my wife knows that I've got my device with me. It's in my back pocket, just so she understands what's going on. The next thing is I practice. This is an actual trainer. You can practice with it. I practice with it. And the last thing is, if I need to use it, I know I still have to go get emergency help immediately. And so as long as I make sure I've got my top 5 plays, then I'm fine. And for the people that want to develop their own plays, we've got the website there, avi-q.com, AUVI-Q.com. You can get all those tips. You can develop your own game plan, if you will, to try to tackle it.
So Jerome, you've got a little one. Are you a little sensitive towards whether or not she develops the same kind of thing?
I am very, very concerned, because I didn't develop it or know until I was 14. And so having, an 8-year-old daughter, 6-year-old son, I'm very scared because I don't know if they have it. I don't want to, test it. So I'm very conscious of what we do. So if we do give them shellfish, it's very limited amounts, and we're always gauging their reaction to it. So I want to make sure that I'm proactive and not reactive.
Jerome, let me expand here just a little bit. One of the greatest running backs on the planet, you also dealt with asthma. What was that like?
That was a difficult situation as well, and that was something that really affected me on the field. Having a shellfish allergy was something I could manage. Making sure that I didn't take it, before a game or anything like that, or didn't take any shellfish. But having asthma was something that directly affected me during the course of a football game. So I was very, very conscious. I took the necessary medications. All the trainers had inhalers. So we were very, very proactive as well in terms of dealing with the asthma. But, as y'all know, there's sometimes that all the medicine in the world doesn't help you. And there were some times where I had to leave the game because, the asthma was starting to affect me. And so you go out of the game for a little bit and hopefully you can return. But it was difficult, but I was able to manage it.
Sometimes you just got to make the play yourself. That's just the way it goes. Jerome, thank you so much for talking to us this afternoon. Before I let you go, how's retirement been? How's it treating you?
Retirement's been great. I'm 7 years retired. I live in Atlanta now, raising 2 beautiful kids, and life is really good now.
Jerome Bettis, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Wish you the best in everything.
Thank you.
Well, if you'd like some more information on what Jerome just talked about, all you have to do is go to delmarvalife.com and click on the show tab.
And Jimmy, as Jerome mentioned, he's certainly not the only one who suffers from severe food allergies. Millions of Americans do. It is a very serious condition. Joining us today to tell us more is Dr. Curt Watkins with Peninsula Allergy and Asthma Associates. Dr. Watkins, thanks for joining us this afternoon. First of all, Jerome mentioned that he didn't even realize he had a severe food allergy until he was a teenager. What should we be looking for?
Jerome's experience is fairly typical. You're not born with food allergies, you acquire them. So at some point along the path of life, you develop a food allergy, and in his case, 14 to the shellfish. Most allergies develop during childhood, but adults can get into food allergy problems as well.
Are there any signs that I might be developing an allergy to food?
You would know. It's not subtle. Itchy throat, hives, generalized itching, abdominal cramps, diarrhea, nausea, throwing up. In severe cases, low blood pressure, and food allergies can unfortunately kill people.
Oh, wow. Okay, so what about our children? I mean, how do I know if my child has a food allergy? I certainly don't want to give him a peanut butter sandwich if I think he's allergic to peanuts. I mean, how do I know?
There's not a good way to know in advance of giving the food, and Jerome indicated that he gave small amounts. I think to use a small amount of food the first time you give a child a new food for shrimp or peanuts is a good idea, but there's not any testing ahead of time that is useful.
Okay, so should everyone be tested? I mean, should I go out and get tested to see if I have any food allergies?
No, that's actually a bad idea. Please
Okay.
don't do that to me. The testing is just not accurate enough to predict who's going to have a food allergy and who won't. So it's very useful to confirm what you suspect. So, Doc, I think I've got peanut allergy. Can you test me? Great, here's a test, but not without any history of exposure problems.
Okay. What about sensitivity to allergies? I mean, there's probably a pretty widespread gamut to how people might react?
There it is. It's highly variable. Some people have just a little bit of trouble, itchy throat, and all the way to full-blown anaphylaxis, low blood pressure, heart attacks, scary stuff.
All right, and there we have some of them: itchy throat, hives, nausea, vomiting, abdominal cramps, trouble breathing, low blood pressure, and even death, as you mentioned before.
About 200 Americans each year, we estimate, die of food allergy.
All right, well, can a person outgrow a food allergy?
They can. Most children will outgrow milk allergy and egg allergy. So if you were allergic to egg as a kid, chances are you're not anymore. Nuts and shellfish and peanut allergy tend to be more durable, but we've recently realized that some children can outgrow their peanut allergy. So it's worth going to your doctor, getting tested, find out where you're at, and because it is possible to get those back into the diet.
On the other side, can we grow into a food allergy? Can I, as an adult, develop a food allergy?
Absolutely, and I run into this all the time. Doc, I've eaten beef my whole life. Why now? Well, we don't know in many cases. Beef's an interesting case. We think that tick bites may actually predispose you to develop beef allergy.
Really?
Yeah.
That is interesting. All right, thank you so much. Good information, Dr. Curt Watkins. And if you would like some more information, we'll have it on our website, delmarvalife.com. And still to come, as parents, we often tire ourselves out trying to make our babies tired. We'll share a few simple steps that may go a long way in helping them get to sleep. Plus, we have your chance to win tickets to Tracy Lawrence's concert next month and your chance to start off your weekend $250 richer. It's all ahead on Delmarva Life. But first, we just talked about food allergies, and sticking with your health, Dr. Oz has more on another serious health concern: seizures.
Would you know what to do if someone was having a seizure? Here's some common mistakes to avoid. First, don't try and snap people out of their seizures. Second, don't try to restrain the victim. but do guide them away from stairs, hot stoves, or other dangerous sources. If the victim bites their tongue, don't intervene or you could be seriously hurt. And lastly, if the seizure lasts more than 5 minutes, call 911.